You are listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show, Orange County's business talk show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.
I love that music. I never get tired of hearing that open. You are listening to Orange County's longest running business talk show, and I am your host, Rick Franzi. We have an exciting and fun show planned for you. Why, you ask? Because Yuko Tsuchida is our guest. She's the founder and owner of Hito LLC. Yuko, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to share my experience and talk to you, Rick.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So you've been in business with Hito for 5+ years. And so as an entrepreneur, Yuko, I'm curious, what was your original motivation to start this business?
Sure. So I'm going to go back to my first business I started with my partner. So just a little bit background. So I worked for a Big Four accounting firm, large accounting firm, right after college. 2-3 years in, unfortunately, my mother got cancer and she was living in Japan. So I needed a little bit flexibility on going back and taking care of mother and making sure I spend a little bit of time with her. But at the time we were going into busy season, so they were not able to accommodate my requests. So I said to myself, I would love to start the company where professionals can work hard, but at the same time, they don't have to choose between work and personal life. So that was original thought. And as first company grew, there was more partners involved, and I exited out because my original thought and my value where we wanted to go with that company has a little bit apart. So whenever I started Hito LLC about 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to go back to my roots and say I would love to provide a place the excellent professional can come and work and do a great job, but at the same time have a work life and life outside of work and spending family time. If they have problem in a personal life, they can take time off and be able to accommodate and work together to create that. That's the reason I started Hito LLC.
That's really valuable, and it's commendable that you decided to exit the first business after you realized it wasn't congruent with your value system. That's not easy to do, and that's admirable that you did that. And now your lessons learned, building the culture in the company and that image. How long after Hito started did you really believe, okay, this business is going to survive and then thrive as it's currently thriving?
Yeah, Rick, we talked a couple of days ago and I've been thinking about this and I was I'm not sure I still believe that. But when I said this company gonna sustain or this company will be okay, was January this year, leadership team was having annual meeting in Palm Springs and talking about issues and what worked and what didn't work. And just looking around them and they're very candid, open, and they don't take problem personally. And we are always thinking how we grow as a person, how we grow as a company, and just that team interaction I was seeing. I thought we'll be okay. We will face problem always. Having said that, our team is so good at what they do, and also the value and culture is so aligned with the team. We can overcome any difficulties or issues we may face.
Well, that's the first time I've probably heard that as an answer to the question. I'm always curious for entrepreneurs, that entrepreneurial journey, and that's a great answer. They're all good, past guests, but that one for what Yuko just said really resonates with me. Was there a time previous to January where you were worried that the business was facing a challenge that it might not survive, and at least put the firm at risk?
Yeah, I don't say I always had a great faith in my team and myself, it will work. having said that, our business is built on success fee basis, meaning that if our client doesn't get refund from IRS or state government, we don't get paid. So there is a long period of time we don't get paid. Typically project take about 3 months to sometimes 2 years if state government is not looking at our refunds claim. So there was a time IRS was slow. IRS and state government was slow to refund money. Thinking about COVID, right? They had to quickly shift their operational model. So they were understaffed and they didn't know what to do, similar to our company. So about 2 years, year and a half to 2 years, we did not see any refunds come to our clients. So at that time, I was just investing my personal fund, and it was scary.
Right. Wow. That's see, unless you've been an entrepreneur, you can't appreciate what she just said. But if you've been an entrepreneur, you know there are times when money you've put on the side for your personal future has to be brought into the business to keep the business going. And that's commendable. But okay, so let's talk about what it is Hito LLC actually does. You sort of teased it, but can you explain for our audience your business and how you help your clients?
Sure. So we are very specialized accounting and tax firm. So only thing we do is we help company reduce taxes through tax credit, tax incentives. So we are not like other tax CPAs. We do not file tax return, or we do not do bookkeeping for you. But sole purpose of our company is, let's say if you had a difficulty in during COVID, but you retain employees, IRS came out amazing tax credit to help company retain those employees. It's called employee retention tax credit. So we help identify and making sure you have proper documentation, and then help claim that credits. And if there are any, in case of audit, we will represent you on audit. So we really partner with financial professional and CPA firm and us to make sure our clients get the best best benefit from tax codes out there.
That ERC program is an amazing program. A number of the members in the Renaissance Executive Forum's Orange County community have applied and received the money from the IRS. And it has been a significant amount of money for the larger members who have a greater number of employees. So that's a fantastic program that if you're listening to this program live or in the future, you may want to talk with Yuko about that program because it's still available. People can still apply, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that's a COVID-based program that commendable they came up with. But what other types of programs at the state or federal level are you helping your clients to take advantage of?
Yeah, so we help variety of credits, right? So based on hiring, investing in CapEx, and also investing in employee training. So that's a category. But long starting one thing one credit a lot of companies are still missing is research and development credit, R&D tax credits. So a lot of company think you have to have pharmacist, pharma technology, or being in a software company, unless that you cannot create, you cannot take advantage of R&D tax credit. But that's not typical, true. If you are developing or enhancing your business product or process, utilizing hard science, meaning architecture, engineering, computer science, anything it's hard science, you may qualify for tax credits. So we my firm we try to go out and talk to and educate business owners hey, there might be ways you can qualify for variety of tax credits. So we kind of see us as educator more than tax people, because we are trying to educate general public how they can do to minimize their tax, utilizing governments is enhancing their business. Because If you think about it, IRS, federal government, state government, they are motivated to keep your business and they want you to like thrive in your business. That's why they created these tax credit to create American job and then like scale up their economy. So I think like it's a really untapped market where people don't know about tax credits, why they were created, and like how to take advantage of that.
So I think you're absolutely correct, Yuko, that many entrepreneurs aren't aware of these funding programs that are available to them who have that intention of what you just talked about, which is to enhance your workforce or to grow your workforce or invest in your business. These are all really, in my opinion, well-designed programs. What I have heard sometimes from entrepreneurs, and tell me how you respond to this, is it's a government program, so the effort that it takes to qualify may not be worth it. How do you, as an educator on these programs, address someone who might come to that decision without really understanding and being informed about the program?
Yeah, I always ask like, okay, so how many CPAs do you have in your team? If you're only working with traditional CPA, I think your answer is probably correct, right? It might take much longer to or investment time to qualify for those credit. But there are companies like us who does only the tax credit, tax incentive, and we know how to find it, we know how to qualify it, and we know how to quantify it. So I think I always give this like analogy, right? If you go to if you have like medical problem, let's say you have freckle in your face and like you're concerned about it, you don't go to your family doctor, you typically go to dermatologist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So similar to like medical field, tax field is so complex and so cumbersome. We are very, very specialized. So if you only have traditional CPA, that might be true. That's why we always like recommend our client to have couple different specialists in your team who can collaborate and then give you the best care and best benefit for your company.
I would think you could also pretty quickly assess if they should even put the effort in based on the work that you've done with other companies, because not everybody qualifies for every program. So my assumption is part of your value is early on in the process helping them to understand if it's even worth further investigation or not.
Right.
We've talked about the employee retention credit, the ERC. We've talked about the R&D credits, which are great. One thing that you mentioned that I did want to highlight was the opportunity to get payment for training your existing workforce, skills development. Can you share a little bit about what where does it start, who does it come from, and how would people qualify for such a thing?
Sure. So any majority of states in America, so when you are paying into unemployment insurance every payroll cycle, you're actually paying into what's called employment training fund. So all the company would qualify for training. So I'll talk specifically to California because Rick and I are in California. So California has an amazing program called Employee Training Panel. So that's the training grants or reimbursement funds they have. So any company would qualify. However, you have to put together why you need that funds and what type of training you're going to provide for your employee to scale up your level and so forth. And California has what's called priority funding category. So construction, technology, certain industry are more favorable and they see they rack a little bit training, so that California wants to put more effort into that. So if you're in that category or any company, they can go to what's called ETP fund and apply for it and apply for it and put the application, and then they will assign application agent, and they will work with you to develop training funds and training program for California ETP. And once that's done, you typically go to what's called panel meeting. It's a government meeting where they approve it. And once like you get approved, the training starts and then reimbursement starts. And California really promotes this, and like it's a great way to like really scale up your like employees, and like enhance your community, local community you're in as a business.
So it sounds like two primary industries that are favored maybe by the state are construction and technology. Did I hear that
It's
correctly?
about 10 of them. So manufacturing,
Manufacturing.
transportation, software company, like construction. There's a like numerous one. Like you can go to californiaetp.org to
Uh-huh.
find out.
But you help companies to go through that process. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so again, if you have employees and you're investing in your employees, which I think is a best practice to keep their skills sharp and keep your company competitive, the state of California has this ETP program, which may offset some of the training costs, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
What other program haven't we talked about that you would like to make sure people are aware of?
We love negotiating or like identifying like state level tax credit as well. So if you are thinking about growing or hiring like new, let's say like minimum 20 people in a particular states, there might be opportunity. So just make sure like you are aware of that, and like take advantage of tax credits.
It's almost like, Yuko, in my mind, if an entrepreneur is thinking about uh, making investments in their business, they should talk to someone like you or to you to understand if there's any incentive programs offered at whatever level of government that might offset some of the investment costs that the entrepreneur is planning to make.
Yes, definitely. And another thing, like I will say, is like even you are not taxable, meaning you are not paying taxes currently, there are some state offers what's called refundable tax credits or grants that will produce immediate cash to like reinvest back in your business.
Wow. What about nonprofit organizations? Are there programs available for them?
Some, but not too many because they're
Okay.
not paying tax. ERC, for example, they would
Oh,
qualify for ERC if they're a
wow.
nonprofit.
Wow. You know, I we could spend more time on this because I find this fascinating because I believe that entrepreneurs should take advantage of every opportunity they have to grow their business. And if the government is wanting to help you to do that, then a wise entrepreneur should be aware of those programs, and you're quite the resource to help them. So, but we can't just spend all the rest of the time we have on that. I'd like to know a little bit about where do you go as an entrepreneur to find peers who have experience that are helping you grow your business and stay ahead of your competition.
Yeah, sure. So, entrepreneur organization, like EO, is what's called. It's a peer-to-peer network for entrepreneur all over the world. I've been involved for last 7 years. Without this organization, my peers from this organization, I wouldn't. I probably never left my previous firm,
Wow.
where my culture, my value was not aligned with the company, and started a company really based on what I believe in, what I want to create with my team and like my clients.
That's really powerful, isn't it? And I'm so glad that you're in a group like EO. That's a great organization. But the peers allowing you to think through this strategic opportunity, because it's hard to give up something that you've helped to build, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations for being brave enough to do that and then creating this successful company that survived what I think you said were 2 years of very thin or no revenue coming in. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, enough of that. Let's look to tomorrow. I mean, where do you see, what's the vision that you have for your firm?
Yeah. So our company vision is like, by 2030, we want to help create and save over 2,500 American jobs through tax credit, tax incentives. So how do we do that? Is like, we are really company built based on like company value and like, culture. And we want to create company of like, professional, like who love what they do, and they want to help each other and our client grow, and also treat our clients' business as like if it's their own, so that we are investing in our clients and their employees. Because I believe my team now, we are here to help companies and help Americans, and like, retain those jobs instead of like, people taking that overseas.
Hmm. Well, that's an inspiring goal, 2,500 U.S. jobs. So thank you for sharing that with us. If someone would like to learn more about your firm or connect with you, how do they do that, Yuko?
Sure, you can connect us through our website. It is hitollc.com, or you can find me on a LinkedIn. And if you have any question, like just DM me through LinkedIn, that would be probably the best way. Or if you want to have a call, please go to our website, and there's a schedule button on the website. So feel free to like reach out to us.
Well, I've enjoyed our time together. Thank you for this tour de force on your business and these programs that are available to entrepreneurs. I really have enjoyed our time together. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick, for having me.
You're welcome. I'd like to thank our audience. You've been a part of Orange County's longest running business talk show. Yuko's episode was episode number 1372 in our catalog. So if you'd like to check other shows, please feel free. If you're an Orange County entrepreneur and you would like to tell your story, then connect with me on LinkedIn or reach out to me on my website. Both are Rick, R-I-C, Franzi, F-R-A-N-Z-I. That's how you find me, and that's my website. And until our next show, I hope we have a chance to be together, but I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.